international correspondent Robert Sherman is live in Davos for us, covering the whole thing, and joins us now. What's the latest from there, Robert?
I mean, you're absolutely right, Connell, that this has been the talk of, frankly, the entire continent of Europe, as Europeans across the region have been bracing for what is to come out of these conversations revolving around Greenland. And now, just moments ago, coming out of a meeting with NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte, the president saying that there's a framework that is in motion, that is satisfactory to him when it comes to Greenland. This is the statement that he put out just a few moments ago. It reads in part, quote, "Based upon a very productive meeting that I have had with the NATO Secretary-General Mark Rutte, we have formed the framework of a future deal with respect to Greenland and, in fact, the entire Arctic region. This solution, if consummated, will be a great one for the United States of America and all NATO nations. Based upon this understanding, I will not be imposing the tariffs that were scheduled to go into effect on February 1st. That threat of tariffs has without question rattled much of Europe here, and that's what they were waiting to hear more on. But by that same token, Europe has taken action today as well, with EU's parliament voting to effectively suspend and put on hold this trade deal that the White House had brokered between Europe and the U.S., putting it on hold for the temporary being as the United States continued to make this push for Greenland. Nevertheless, you now see this movement coming here in which the president says that there are going to be more negotiations to come. His team is going to continue to have these conversations with NATO about what exactly this deal is going to look like. But the president made Greenland a big part of his remarks here today in Switzerland, talking about how this is about collective national security for Western Europe, for the Arctic, to stop Russian and Chinese encroachment. He came here to Switzerland saying he wanted to get some kind of a deal done. And so far, the initial indications are the conversations with NATO have satisfied his security concerns. Connell.
Right, yeah, the tariffs are now off the table. You're talking about how Europe had been rattled by all of this, and you're right. I also feel like for all of us, it's been something of a distraction from other issues that we should be talking more about, like Ukraine, for example, although I know that came up today in the speech and other conversations, the war in Ukraine.
Yeah, I mean, that did come up in some of the president's remarks in which he talked about he feels as though that right now there's currently an opening, and there's a lot of diplomacy that's taking place on the sidelines here with all of this. So we know, according to the White House, that President Trump and President Zelensky are supposed to meet tomorrow to talk about the war in Ukraine. But also we know that his negotiators, such as Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, they've been having conversations with the Russians here in Switzerland. And now both the Kremlin and White House have confirmed Special Envoy Steve Witkoff, Jared Kushner, heading to Russia tomorrow to pick up those talks directly with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Those conversations with the Russians, with the Ukrainians, happening simultaneously as the White House wants to get an alignment here on exactly where all these parties stand in hopes of pushing forward with diplomacy in the coming days here.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.